Welcome back guys to another Digaea RPG video. We're going to be looking at the new banner that's going to be coming out that's got Christo and Salvatore on it. Just going to give them to a little rundown, a review sort of thing, see if they're any good, what sort of place they're going to have on your teams, if you're going to summon for them, and just a little general look at them really. So we're going to look at Christo first. He is a new staff user. Stats, quite basic anyway. He's staff user, they're going to be quite intelligence resistance based. Speed's 51, so a little low. Attributes, nothing really of note too much. A high water resistance one, but other than that, not too much to mention there. Weapon mastery, I think you're probably going to keep him as a staff user. He has potential to possibly go to, say, a bow user for the doppelganger and that sort of thing. Probably not the best route because he does have a lower attack, and one of his abilities is sort of bottlenecked to staff wielding allies. So let's look at these abilities too. First one is going to get Battle of Wits for himself, AoE damage dealt plus 50%. That's very nice. That's a high amount of extra damage for an AoE attack, so that's very good. NE plus 1, cool and calm. Staff wielding allies, intelligence plus 18%. This is where I said that this is his only bottlenecking ability. So it's not an awful thing really. Intelligence plus 18% is good. He's going to get it as well if you keep him as a staff main, which I think you probably will do. NE plus 5, Tactician. All allies, damage taken from skills, minus 10%. Very nice, no complaints there for me. Giving your team a bit of extra protection is always quite nice. The enemies do tend to use a lot of skills in this game, so that's all good from me. NE plus 7, Fountain of Facts. Orb equipped allies, intelligence and defense plus 13%. That's quite nice as well. On a staff team, you probably would put maybe an orb on each member of a staff team. It would make sense that they're the right stats for that unit. And then they get an extra buff here of intelligence and defense plus 13%. So look at him straight away, his abilities. It's quite a nice balance of defense and attack. It's quite good. Nothing outstanding as such, but nothing too underwhelming either. So it's looking quite nice so far. Skills. So his first skill, Demon's Solace. A party-wide HP recovery skill, plus it grants your team immunity to the Forget status ailment coming in from enemies. That's always quite nice. Forget's quite a horrible one to have. It means you can't use any of your skills, you've got to use normal attack. So that's quite nice. If you can get that off quite early in the stage, it's going to protect you quite well. His second skill he gets, Piercing Light. His cheap area of effect attack, and also reduces the enemy's attack minus 10%. So I did say earlier about potential to be a bow user. There's probably no point. He's got this doppelganger equivalent, but it's intelligence based. So his skills, I forgot about that. This one's intelligence. The Demon Solace is resistance based, so keep high resistance. The higher the resistance, the higher the heal is going to be giving. And his NE plus 3 move that's going to learn, also intelligence based. A high costing area of effect attack. It's very high costing, I think. 90 down to, it's probably going to be 85, I think, for global currently. Maybe a bit lower now. I'm trying to think. I think it'll be 85. Does have a good thing of where it does affect the enemy's action gauge. Going to take 200 off of them. So you're going to see a little significant jump down from the enemy. It's going to help you out quite a lot if you've got some slower units, because they're going to be able to just skip past them. Hopefully, if this does affect it enough, which I think it should do. It's quite a significant amount. But that is just the cost for me. That is quite expensive. I don't know how much use you're going to see out of it. Whereabouts on your staff team he'll go, because he's going to need some SP batteries for sure. He's going to need fiercest an SP battery. All top of my head, I've gone a bit blank there. But yes, I know fiercest is definitely one. Marjolaine's just come out, but I'm not sure if she's just for herself or not. But you can look at SP batteries, because if you're planning on using this Gospel of Power move, you're going to need some SP batteries for sure. So his spells, Heal, Magic Barrier, Mega Cool, Mega Magic Barrier, Giga Heal, and Omega Cool. So he's already got this healing skill here, which for the party. Also it does protect you from being hit by the Forgot effect. So in terms of using Giga Heal and Heal, you're probably not going to use them, I wouldn't have thought. You're going to use his spells, you're going to get spells up using his staff weapon mastery, but I'm not sure you're going to use Giga Heal or Heal too much. It might be quite a significant amount of difference between the heal effects of Giga Heal and his Demon Solace, but the price between them on SP is probably more cost effective to do Demon Solace more often. So Magic Barrier and Mega Magic Barrier, it's okay. It's not a bad thing, but for a team of staff users, that sort of thing, him being on a staff team, they're already going to have fairly high resistance just because of the equipment you use, the orbs, the glasses, that sort of thing. They already tend to increase your resistance, so it's probably more beneficial to use that one if he's on more of a hybrid team where there's not everyone's got intelligence based moves, but you can then use him on teams where you still equip people with orbs because they're going to get the effect of NE7. But it's a nice. Obviously, we would all prefer Mega Magic Boost, a much better spell. It does keep people relevant for a lot longer because you can keep your team longer, but unfortunately, he doesn't have that. You can get the Mega Ice. I think it's called Mega Ice actually, in global. I know this is the translation, but I think it's called Mega Ice usually. It's not something I use that often myself. But it is nice because he hasn't got any other attribute-based spells or skills, so wouldn't be a bad thing to have Mega Cool in your arsenal because it's an area of effect move as it is. Because he does get this leader ability, Battle of Wits, where for himself the AoE damage dealt is plus 50%. And of course, Mega Ice is an intelligence-based move, so intelligence plus 18%, that's getting even higher. Equipped with an orb, intelligence and defense plus 13%, even higher again. So he's looking, to me, like a fairly decent damage dealing unit. His only downfall, I'm going to say, really, is that Marjolein has just come out, and she probably deals more damage for me. Combined, they're going to deal more damage together. I just don't know if he's going to have a place on your Magic team. It's already quite stacked at the minute of fairly decent units. Pure Sicily, Marjolein, Dark Artina, Noelle as well, because Noelle's got Mega Magic Boost, so she tends to get a place with her passive heal as well, and she does have an all-round team ability buff, I believe. That the whole sort of style, everyone gets a certain percentage boost. So I'm just not sure where Christo fits on the team. Obviously, if you are lacking those sort of units and you're looking to pad out your staff team, he's definitely a good option. I can't say for me that it's a banner I'm really going to summon on just because of the timing. There's too many banners out at the minute. There's too many banners out this month and next month I've got my eye on. So unfortunately, the Christo and Salvatore banner, as good as the units are, they're fairly decent units. I'm going to get to Salvatore in a minute. I just don't think I've got the quartz to spare. And it's just annoying that Boltren decided to release like 100 banners in 1 month. It's too much for me. But that is Christo, fairly decent. We're going to move on to Salvatore, who she is a new gun user. Stats-wise, fairly basic stats. All quite even. The growth-wise, all quite even. HP is okay, but speed-wise, average speed 55, so that's quite nice. You put some boots on her as well, even better. An extra 12 speed, if that's the route you're going to go, is going to put her up to 67 speed. That's pretty quick. Attributes wise, standard again. Got that water attribute of plus 50%. It's okay. Weapon mastery wise, staff is 2, so if you're wanting to build her up, just some of her spells, which you're definitely going to want to do, I can tell you that much now. You're going to need just a little bit more mana. I mean, 2 to 9, the difference usually is it's very, very slim. And now with the amount of awakenings we can do, reincarnations, just going to see so much mana anyway. So you're fine and you're absolutely covered. These abilities of hers. Leader 1, Magnificent Will. All enemies, defense and resistance minus 12%. Very good. That's very similar to a Christo one, wasn't it? That's damage taken from skills. Right, I got sidetracked. All enemies, defense and resistance minus 12%. Very nice. Just means your whole team's going to be dealing some more damage to them. And irregardless of what team she's going to be on, if there's some staff users that are intelligence based, they're getting the resistance deducted as well. So that's good there. NE plus 1, Relentless Salvo, gun wielding allies, AoE damage dealt plus 15%. It's quite nice as well. Gun wielding I'm trying to think of the AoE people for that. Obviously, Salvatore is one. Gonna get down to that in a minute. I'm thinking more of, I know that the actual skills you can learn just from holding the guns. Shotgun craft, I think, is the AoE one. That's around a 35 cost. I think it's called Shotgun craft. So they can all learn that. But the big unit in Awakened Rosalind, she hasn't got a cheap air effector move, I don't believe. That was probably one of her downfalls when she released. Not having a cheap AoE move does affect your likability and your use in a team sometimes. I mean, she did have that SP plus 15 to everyone that made up for it, but the lack of AoE attacks is quite detrimental to a unit these days. NE plus 5, G Master. For herself, when wielding a gun, attack and defense plus 27%. Random number, but it's decent, and being a buff to both attack and defense makes her less squishy and gives her quite a nice attack boost as well. It's not quite a Braveheart, quite that, but it is defense as well, and it's permanent. It's a nice one. NE plus 7, don't keep me waiting. For all allies, the action gauge plus 50 when a turn ends. Now it sounds quite small, plus 50, and it's an awkward timing, I'd say, when a turn ends. So it's not going to be as good as a tired New Year Rosalind, where hers at the wave starts, everyone gets the action gauge boost. This one is when Salvatore's turn ends, everyone behind her then gets plus 50. So this isn't like one you can cheese events with. It's not going to affect, say, the advents where the enemies go first, unless you use the at start of wave action gauge manipulation. This can't do that. It is just a little nudge, and it's for everyone though. So it's quite nice. I'm not sure if it's NE plus 7 worthy. It's not bad. Maybe I'm just failing to see the depth of it just yet, but it's there. It's quite good. Her skills. First skill, short recoil. Her AoE move, cheap, so it's going to be fairly weak. Doppelganger standards, G plus to F. But it also increases her action gauge by plus 50. So if she uses this move, she gets plus 50 action gauge, and then when her turn ends as well, she gets an extra plus 50. So hers will be plus 100, everyone else in the team will be plus 50. So just a bit more action gauge, more movement from her. Her second skill, the Great Gun King. Single attack, A to A plus damage, mid costing, rising up a little bit, 60 down to probably 55 it'll be. And it does reduce the enemy's defense by 12%. It's quite good. It's not an S-ranked move, but it's quite good. The enemy's defense and resistance are already low, so deducting their defense an extra 12% is pretty decent as well. It's looking quite good. I'm happy what she's giving so far. Again, the same as Christo, really. Nothing's overwhelming me, but nothing's made me think you're pretty pants. So they're quite run-of-the-mill units to a point, but they do have some good advantages as well. Definitely for Salvatore, the AoE move is very good. It's very nice for a gun team because it is cheap as well. And this NE plus 3 skill, she will learn Magnificent World. Another area effect attack. Another expensive one as well. 90, it's the same as Christo, but this one increases her attack by 30%. That's quite a good buff for her. Trying to think of the role she's going to play in your team. Looking at these abilities and skills, and you try to think, oh, where's she going to fit? Is she going to be my damage dealer? Is she a buffer? Well, that all gets explained when we drop down to these magic skills. Straight away, I just need to show you Braveheart and Mega Braveheart. This already puts her straight up into most gun teams because they're definitely going to need to have a Mega Braveheart unit. We all love that Mega Braveheart unit. It is the meta to have a good unit and then buff them with Mega Braveheart. And so if you combine Salvatore and the new Heroine Asagi, if you've been lucky enough to get her as well, that's a great combination. Bravehearting someone, you probably could Braveheart Heroine Asagi because she's going to deal a lot of damage herself. Heroine Asagi does a lot of buffs. There's just a lot of buffs with these two combined. And then Awakened Rosalind is getting people a lot of SP. So this gun team is now beginning to finally sort of fill out. It's been a while. I can't remember. Is Sapphire? Let me have a look back. So yeah, Sapphire is also another gun user. So this gun team, if it is your sort of forte that you like to use, a gun forte, it's beginning to fill out. You've got Salvatore, Sapphire, Heroine Asagi, Awakened Rosalind. So it's looking pretty decent. They're all fairly good users, but Salvatore having Mega Braveheart is very good for the team. Heroine Asagi didn't have Mega Braveheart, but she does have those buffs from her Aoe attack that she can use every turn. If you get her NE to +5, she can use it every turn then. Sapphire did not have Mega Braveheart. I think she had Speed Up and the magic one as well. I'm not going to look at her right now, but I think that's what she had. Like, attack-wise for her. Awakened Rosalind can then, I'd say, if you're wanting to use Awakened Rosalind as your main damage dealer, she can use a shotgun craft. She can have enough SP for that, I'd have thought, because Sapphire does give her SP from her abilities. So I'm not sure who you would use as your main damage dealer yet, if it's a gun team you're going for. Awakened Rosalind, say for your AoE moves, if you want to do AoE moves constantly, I don't think Awakened Rosalind can do that with Shotgun Craft. Even with the +15 SP at the start of battle, I think she'll run out too quickly. I'm thinking the only option currently is either Salvatore, I've gone to the wrong screen here, either Salvatore or Heroine Asagi. They're probably the two units you want to use to your damage. And when I say damage, I mean like constant AoE damage. Big hits, I'm sure Awakened Rosalind will hit harder than both of them, because she's got the badass stats who can buff as well. But for the gun damage, definitely Salvatore or Heroine Asagi. Just depends which ones you've got. If you do pull for Salvatore, that is, and you do get her. And then there's the issue of you can. You probably don't want to Mega Braveheart her. You want to Mega Braveheart the damage dealer after her, if that was her role. But she can deal a fairly good amount of damage herself. I'd say out of the two units in this banner, I think Salvatore's more exciting. She's more needed anyway. Christo isn't breaking any barriers on the staff team at all, whereas Salvatore is definitely going to fit straight into a gun team. So there you have it, guys. Those are my thoughts on Christo and Salvatore. Again, I'll happily say it, not groundbreaking units, but can definitely fit on their respective teams. More so Salvatore. Probably, okay, I'm not going to say she's groundbreaking, but she's a very good gun user. And if gun is going to be your main team, she can fit on it for a while. And with a future proofing of having Mega Braveheart, that's even better. So out of the two units, for target wise, Salvatore is definitely the better of the two in my eyes, because there's already plenty of staff users that are better than Christo or equal of Christo. So Salvatore, very good. Mega Braveheart, some good AoE damage, and it's cheap, and some good action gauge manipulation going on. And there you have it. Right, if you did enjoy that video, guys, please do hit like, and if you want to see more from the channel, please do hit subscribe. Bye.